Welcome Tapped In with Dialed In, the show where the people sharing cannabis culture and the industry behind it. Today we got Spencer from Dialed In. We're going to tap into his story, his perspective, and the work he's doing in his space. So roll up, get comfortable. Let's Dialed In with Spencer. What's going on, Spencer? Good to have you on, bro.
What's up, Carlos? It's good to be on here today. Thanks for having me.
Oh man, no worries, man. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, man. Just so you know, man, I've been a fan of Dialed In for a while, man. I discovered y'all probably back in 2021, 2022. And I had just got promoted to a manager, and somebody came in with some samples. And it was like rosin gummies. I was like, oh. And when I tried them, oh my God, I was like, yo, these are gonna be the next innovation. So just kind of give you a best of what I like Dialed In. But, tell me about yourself, Spencer, how you got into the industry, where you from?
100%. So I'm originally from Indiana, out in the Midwest. Was in the military. I was an Air Force firefighter for 5 years and separated from the Air Force in 2016. Moved out to Colorado as a veteran who just wanted access to cannabis for myself. Came out to Colorado, saw all the things that were happening in here. Wasn't intending to get into the industry as a worker, just trying to have access to the plant for myself. Ended up responding to a sales position back in 2017, and it feels like I just blinked, and here we are years later, and now I'm still in it, still doing it, working with Dialed In Gummies. I was a fan of the brand before I got to work here at the company, so super excited to be working in the industry at one of the leading states, with Colorado being so mature in this space.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So tell me a little something about Dialed In. What makes them different than any other cannabis gummy out there? What makes Dialed In Dialed In?
So we were the very first rosin gummy to enter the scene nationally. Very first rosin gummy out here in Colorado. We are a rosin edible, really putting the focus on the highest quality small batch gummies. And we like to think of our gummies as connoisseur gummies. They're not just the standard sugar coated pectin filled gummies. It's truly something different. People comment on the flavor, the texture, the mouthfeel, and the high, but known originally for being the first rosin gummy here in Colorado.
Okay. And how you feel about that?
Oh, it's great. I've been a big fan of rosin since it started out. I was early into the scene. I worked for one of the very first solventless companies here in Colorado, Essential Extracts, back in the day. Shout out to Nick T for throwing me on and getting me involved into the rosin scene, and stoked to be a part of the very first rosin edible. I truly believe rosin is the extract that everyone should be consuming. It's the highest quality, it's the cleanest one, and stoked to be on the team that put out the first rosin edible.
Oh yeah, totally, 100% agree. So telling me about your flavors. How do y'all come with y'all flavors? How do y'all brand with other rosin companies? How does that process go about?
So we're known a lot for our flavors. People often say that we have some of the best tasting gummies. We have 29 flavors total, and you get two flavors per pack. Those rotate up. So we like to pair the flavors with the terpenes and the strain whenever possible, while also taking into account, there's two flavors per 10. So we want these flavors to match up well with one another while keeping the variety fresh. It's one of the exciting things about purchasing Dialed In, is that the flavors are always switching up. So you're not just eating the same pear or peach flavor every single time. We got something fresh for you that's always switching up.
Yeah, that's definitely was one of the key things for me personally, was like, oh, I get two flavors, so I'm not just dedicated to one particular flavor. That's definitely been a turning point for me. What's been your most popular flavor so far?
Across the board, we see blueberry as just like the classic go-to for so many people. I'm a big fan of dragon fruit or hula berry are some of my personal favorites, but I'd say blueberry across the board, and across multiple states, because we have branched out a little bit. So we just see blueberry as consistently one of the most popular flavors for us.
So I know you said in y'all in other states. How is Colorado different than the other states you guys are in?
Yeah, we're growing. So we got started here in Colorado, and now we are in Ohio and Missouri, actively selling product right now. Looking to expand in a couple other states this year as well. Colorado is different because it's such a mature state. I feel like Colorado truly has some of the best concentrates around. So we really get to cherry select what we consider some of the best rosin here in Colorado, as well as putting out just so many fresh new collabs on a consistent basis because of all the great connections that we have here.
Okay, that's dope. So, what's some of you been your favorite or your best collabs? Like you're just as soon as you put them out, they just run off the shelf.
We've been leaning into a lot more of like music artist collabs, so working directly with the artists. This year there was an electronic music festival that happened out in Telluride called Camp Outerwild. That was put on by the electronic artists Of the Trees. We got to work directly with Of the Trees, hand selecting the flavor, the artwork, and really working with the artists. And then we were actually popped up on the festival grounds talking about that batch. That one was extremely popular, sold out right away. We had people all across the state looking for that batch in different stores, trying to find it to carry it for themselves. That's considered like a collectible item for a lot of our shoppers. I'm personally very excited about some of the other collabs that we're working on right now. We're currently working on a Veterans Day batch for the upcoming
Oh wow.
Veterans Day, and me being a veteran, it's a true passion project of my own. So very excited for that to be coming out here next month.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that one too. I know the Last Prisoner project was definitely a good collab. I know a lot of people really like that Last Prisoner project collab you guys did back in the summertime.
100%. We put that one out in April. Last Prisoner Project does some incredible work. You know, they're actively working on getting people out of the prison for working with the cannabis the way that we do. So they're working to get people out of prison, and we were able to team up with Last Prisoner Project in April to do a multiple state batch where we donated $1 per unit back towards their organization to help people get out of prison for cannabis.
Yeah, that's dope because I know I actually talk about that a lot in my store when people talk about DialedIn, and I bring y'all up a lot, tell you like how y'all do a lot of collabs with like different organizations and stuff like that, and how y'all give back. And that was one of the ones that I talk about the most is the Last Prisoner Project because there are a lot of people that are incarcerated for cannabis, which is crazy.
100%. So many people are locked up for some of the things that we're all enjoying right now, and we can't forget about those people right now. We got to help them out and get them out of there. So I cannot speak highly enough of the Last Prisoner project. We truly love doing those give back projects. The Veterans Day one that I'm working on right now is going to be one of those as well, and that's something that we do often. Is how can we give back to the community and do our part?
Okay, that's cool. So, tell me about transparency. How important is transparency in your production?
Transparency is huge for us. We always want everyone to be asking what is inside of their edibles, where does this material get sourced from, how was it sourced, how was it created. One of the very cool things that we do at Dialed In Gummies is that every product that we put out has a QR code on the back of the packaging that's specific to that batch. You scan that QR code, it takes you to our website, and we have batch write ups, we have terpene testing, cannabinoid testing. We'll tell you everything you want to know about the product before you can consume it. And I truly believe that everyone should be asking, like, what is inside their edibles before they do it. So transparency is a huge thing for us. We always want to show who we're working with right on the front of the packaging and direct people through that QR code to go back to the website.
Gotcha. I do like that. That was like one of the things that got me because I tell a lot of people, it's like, well, if you scan the QR code, it'll tell you everything you need to know about this particular gummy. And a lot of people pull out their phones like, oh, that is so cool. You know, so with the market growing as fast as it is, how hard is it to stay consistent with your guys' product? Is it hard? Is it somewhat, y'all have like a system that y'all like narrowed down to like quality control?
100%. We're always focusing on the quality. With us being a rosin edible and being a true premium edible, quality is a huge thing for us. So we have quite the process of getting material. And first we vet the group and we bring a test wash in to wash it and see how it performs, how the material comes out, if there's any issues with it coming inside. We are lucky here in Colorado. We have such strong relationships that we have a lot of different sources where we're pulling material from, but we have very strict processes of taking material and making sure that it is the highest quality. And if it doesn't meet our standards, like we'll send it back.
Yeah.
And we've done that throughout the years, and it's always quality over quantity for us.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely one of those people. Like, when I first moved out here, I was definitely, oh, whatever's the cheapest thing. But then once I got into the industry and started understanding what rosin was, what distillate was, what resin was, I definitely became a quality over quantity type guy for sure. So I definitely lean towards rosin for anything that I consume just because you put it in your body.
100%. Rosin's always going to be the cleanest process. So we're all about making sure we have the highest quality, and we're never cutting the corners to just get a batch out. Like, we take our time with things. We put out new batches constantly, but we always want to have the highest quality possible.
Yeah. So, what kind of lifestyle does DialedIn represent? You know, is it like a just vibe, just chill, artistic, creative?
It's the cool thing about our brand is that it's hard to select on just one thing. I feel like we tap into so many different communities and so many different markets with our products. We got started as the very first rosin edible. So when we first got started here in Colorado, it was very much into the heady community. But as we've been growing, we're just attracting so many different consumers to this brand, because I think it applies to so many different people. We chose the word dialed in because we feel like you can take this edible and truly like dial in your experience and, test that vibe and that feel from that product and make that experience what you want out of it with the options that we have available.
I can totally co-sign that because, man, when I tell you, since Shaw dropped that off 5-1, man, listen.
Ooh.
That's definitely been my favorite. I pushed that one, and the CBG can't stay in my store. We run out so fast of that CBG just because I'm a big fan of CBG. And so I push it really hard. And then my staff, they push it really hard too. They love the CBG. I have been pushing, me and this guy today, he came in and we kind of turned him on to the 5-1. And I was like, look, man, that thing is heavy. I was like, that thing is heavy.
The 5-1 is heavy. The 5-1's got 50 milligrams CBD, 10 milligrams THC per gummy. So total cannabinoids inside that 10 is like 600 milligrams. One of the most cannabinoids we've ever put out inside of a 10. And that one's great. I truly love that CBD 5-1. For me, it is the ultimate gummy to just unplug and relax at the end of the day. You've been on your feet all day long. You've been working. You've been dealing with stress with some bosses. Just take that gummy and just chill out. It just kind of melts those worries away.
So true. So tell me about the THCV strain, the THCV gummy.
Yeah, we've been putting out a lot of exciting new minor cannabinoids products this summer. You mentioned a couple, the CBG 2-1, the CBD 5-1. We also have what we call the Focus gummy. So it's a 1-to-1-to-1 ratio, 5 milligrams of THC, CBC, and THCV. This product right here, it was truly designed for focus. When I take this product, I am focused on whatever I am doing. If it's chores around the house, I'm just knocking them out and cleaning the back of the fridge like I never have before. If I got a stack of emails I'm staring at, I take one of those gummies and I'm just typing away and knocking them out. Not necessarily a gummy where I feel like I'm stoned. It's a gummy where I'm like productive and getting things done throughout my life.
So how much do you know about THCV?
I know a fair amount about it. I got introduced to THCV when I first got into this industry in 2017, working for a company called EBU, and they were doing large scale minor cannabinoids. So sourcing minor cannabinoids from the cannabis plant and figuring out what it does to the body. At the time, they had some PhD pharmacologists testing live cancer cells with these other minor cannabinoids to see what they did. THCV is typically known for productivity, activity, energy, appetite suppressant, a lot of people use it for working out and various like exercises.
Got you. So, can you give me a little insight about CBG? A little bit about CBG?
CBG is a big thing in our industry. So CBG has been popping off in Colorado for over 2 years now at large scale. It's often referred to as the mother cannabinoid. So it's great for anti-inflammatory, anti-anxiety, similar to the way that people talked about CBD 5 or 10 years ago is the way that they're talking about CBG. For me, I often relate to the comments that people will say CBG is CB giggles. It makes them just giggly, bubbly, worries
Yeah.
kind of go away. It makes it a little more social. For me, it's like a very much a social gummy. I take that CBG gummy when I'm going out to the bars with the friends or I'm going to hit a concert. It makes me feel giggly and just it's happy. It's like that classic happy, giggly high that you had when you were in high school for the first time getting stoned. And I think that's
Yeah, that's definitely a fact. I remember those days, just stoned off your ass, just giggling for no reason. Oh my god.
That's the CBG. That's the CB giggles right there. It's that one is great. Ours is a 2-to-1 ratio, so it's got 20 milligrams of CBG to 10 milligrams of THC. It's one of the strongest rec CBG gummies here in Colorado right now, and as you said, flying off the shelf inside the dispensary, and just overall, so many people are loving this cannabinoid, and it's very cool to see how these cannabinoids can help so many people in so many different ways, and I love that we have a cannabinoid that we have identified as the one that makes us giggly and makes us happy. So I'm all about that.
Yeah. Now, do you personally have a favorite strain or uh collaboration that you've done outside of the CBG, this THCV, just the regular rosin gummy?
Favorite strain, if I had to call out like a desert island strain, you throw me out there and I just have one strain to smoke the rest of my life, would probably be lemon chi. That
Yeah.
one is like an old school great one for me coming out of Ohio for that one, and I'm a big Lemon G fan. So anything with Lemon G, it definitely got my vote. We've been doing a lot of collabs recently with one of the concentrate rosin companies out here in Colorado, In-House Melts, who has just phenomenal material and cannot
Really?
speak highly of In-House Melts rosin. So anything with that inside of it, I'm grabbing these
Wow.
days. That's like a go-to for me.
I've never, are they fairly new?
In-House Melts, fairly new, came onto the scene this year. Very much a top premium rosin here in Colorado. They're up there with like the 710, the Laser Cat, the Percy, the top of the top.
Okay.
In-House Melts has some phenomenal material.
Got you, got you. So what's next up for DialedIn?
Next up for us is expansion. You know, I talked on it a little bit. We are in Ohio and Missouri right now. We're getting ready to launch inside of Massachusetts and Arizona next,
Okay.
and there's more states up on the block. We're trying to get rosin into so many people's hands and just get rosin to be the go-to for people. We've seen it kind of take over here in Colorado, and we're seeing it slowly take off in these other states. So we're excited to be at the forefront of that and be one of the top rosin companies across the nation.
Hey, yeah, man. Just have y'all thought about Jersey? Because I know Jersey's a booming market right now. Oh, well, so what's
Absolutely.
like outside of like what's been like the most difficult thing like expanding into other states? Because I know that can be kind of tricky because every other state their regulatories are so different than the normal.
100%. Yeah, I think one of the biggest challenges that we're experiencing in some of these new states is just the access to material that we need to turn into rosin. Rosin obviously has a lower yield than what distillate does. So we need more material than what a standard distillate company would need for their process. So going into these new states where rosin is brand new to a lot of people and there's only one or two rosin suppliers out there, where we're here in Colorado, 50 plus different rosin suppliers that we can call at any moment. One of the challenges is just getting access to that material and putting out the batches the way that we want to put it out as frequently as we do.
That's what's up, man. Well, Spence, I ain't gonna keep too much of your time, man. I appreciate you coming in on me, man. It's been a pleasure, man. I'm definitely a fan of the product. Is there anything else you wanna tap in or whatever you wanna let the people know about Dialed In?
Absolutely. I just want to give you a shout out for having me on here today and just talking about the brand and giving us a platform to speak about. We're all about rosin, the cleanest product, and I touched on it a little bit, but just wanted to call out like rosin is a process. So we're just using ice water pressure and some heat. There's no chemicals used. And one of the things that I want consumers to ask about when they're going to reach for an edible is what concentrate is inside of this edible? What is the process? Are there any chemicals used? This is something that we're putting inside of our body. I'm very much a healthy person, and I think we should all be asking about what we're putting inside of our body before we can consume it. So just want to give a shout out to you for having us on here. Put some awareness
Yeah.
onto the listeners today so that they know what is inside their edibles. And um, thank you for the support,
Oh,
Carlos. You've been a huge advocate of Dialed In for a
hey
while, so we
man.
can't do it without people like you shouting us out and giving us a little spotlight.
Yeah, yeah. I did have one more question. How important is like bud tender training as far as like you guys go? How important is it for you guys to get in front of the bud tenders and let them know about, the different products and educating them so they can better sell the product?
It's huge for us. We're the very first rosin edible. There's people here in Colorado that will yell rosin from the top of the rooftop, but there's also people just coming out to Colorado just for a vacation that maybe never even heard about rosin. So we're all about educating the people, putting everyone onto the rosin scene and explaining that product. And that all starts with the bud tenders. So educating the bud tenders, going in and talking with them, making sure that they're comfortable and have all the answers before people come in and purchase the products is a huge focus of ours right now. We just recently put out some new products, so we're constantly going out there and meeting with teams and educating everyone.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know we got the rosin drops into your in my store, and I love them, dude. They're like the best shit ever. like even my butt
Newest
tenders, they love them.
I love that. I love that. That's the newest product from us, Rosin Drops. It's a liquid version of the gummy. So it's fast acting, it's low sugar, it's a small bottle, fits in the pocket. You can just make a can of cocktails while you're out. I'm a big fan of it. I take it out anytime I go out with friends. I gave up alcohol a year ago, so I always have a Rosin Drop with me when I hit the bars with the friends, and making up the can of cocktails is always a bunch of fun.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Well, Spencer, I appreciate you again, man. I have this uploaded later on this week. But I appreciate you coming on again, man. We definitely have to do it again, and keep in touch. And I'll talk to you later, bro.
That sounds great, Carlos. I appreciate you having me on here. Looking forward to jumping on again soon and wish you a great night.
All right, man. You too. Have a good one, bro.
All right, see you later.
All right, bro.